Hi. So I've been thinking throughout today about the news back in the UK, and you can probably guess what I've been thinking about. It's the news about Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister of the UK, stepping down from his position of leadership. And it's just been really interesting hearing this news and just following it online here in Malaysia and not in the UK, reading about it and seeing the developments from afar as an outsider, if you like. And I found it really interesting that this could even like happen. Because the thought of a leader stepping down or being able to be forced to step down and giving a speech saying, you know what, this is the will of the people. Um, uh, that kind of thing doesn't happen every day, and not in the kind of civil and polite way that UK society is used to. I'll put it that way. And I think that's just really something to be thinking about, because what happens if you have a leader, say not in a political context but in a church context, a leader, a pastor, someone in senior positions in a church that is now unpopular and is forced to step down from his position. I do wonder if there would be that kind of civility, that kind of even mechanism, even if that would be possible. And what if that leader chose instead to hold on to their position and not give up? And I think that kind of scenario happens perhaps more often than we realize, and it's very, very damaging. Very, very damaging to both the leader and also the church that no longer supports that leader. Um, Very interestingly as well, today a video came out here in Malaysia by one of the big conferences that's going to be held next month, and the speaker of that conference was asked about faithful leadership in the long term. What it takes for church leaders, not talking about politics, but church leaders, pastors again, to be able to maintain a faithful ministry in the long term and to end well. And the thing that he talked about was those we talked about a few dangers, but primarily pride and not having that kind of humility that is really, really essential to be in pastoral and biblical ministry. And I thought it just interesting, again, the two news, just happening together again, one looking at politics, looking at the UK, and another looking at Malaysia and thinking about biblical pastoral ministry and how important it is that leaders are humble and are having the right character, not just the capabilities to be able to lead well in a church, but also that what if situation. What if that leader isn't suitable? And what if that leader needs to be able to be removed from that position? And I think both are needed. Both are needed to recognize the good leaders, but also to how do we put this very tactfully, to remove people who aren't suitable for leadership in a way that is still civil and doesn't damage the church, but also enables things to still carry on in a gracious way. I don't know what you think. I just thought this was just an interesting thing to be considering when you look at the church here in Malaysia and how it's meant to be growing in godliness and displaying a kind of integrity that is meant to surpass that of the world. How we as a church, creating leaders who are gracious, who are humble, who are submissive before God, and how are we then maybe even thinking about removing those who, or discouraging those who aren't suitable for these positions of ministry.